Welcome to WebSeriesOnFire.com, where talented filmmakers share their inspiring stories from concept to execution. And now, here is your host, Peter Papagiorgio.
Welcome to WebSeriesOnFire.com. I'm your host, Peter Papagiorgio, where I'll be sharing the stories and journeys of the creators of the hottest new web series in the entertainment industry. My guest today is Veronica Dang, and she is the creator of the award-winning web series Subway the Series. Veronica, are you ready to ignite the entertainment industry with your web series?
Absolutely.
Cool. Veronica, give us a kind of a quick glimpse of your personal life. Like, where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Pennsylvania, and I grew up in Pennsylvania and outside of D.C. in Virginia.
Okay.
But growing up, everybody always thought I was a New Yorker. So, and I always loved it ever since I was little, and I came and to see the Macy's parade. Mm-hmm. So when I graduated school, I came up to New York because it's always been like a dream of mine.
So basically, you had that edge that you stood out, right?
Yeah, I talk too fast. I walk too fast. I'm too honest.
Too honest, yeah.
Because I always were like New Yorkers, and I just love everything about New York.
How long have you been living in New York now?
Gosh, I've been here visiting since I was little, so I guess off and on for maybe 10 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was telling you, I was born in Astoria. No, I was born in Brooklyn, but raised in Astoria, Queens. Are you in Queens or Brooklyn or Manhattan?
I'm in Manhattan.
Ah, okay, cool. All right, give us what's your web series about? Let's tell the audience.
So, being someone who loves New York,
Uh-huh.
One of the mainstays in New York is the New York City subway. Like, you can't avoid it. You need it to get everywhere, and it's such a nice microcosm of the diversity of the city and all the weirdness that happens. And I felt like when I'm riding the subway, I'm like, this would make a great web series because there's just endless stories. Every day there's something happening.
That's true. That's true. And now the subway is a lot more safer. But back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't too safe. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that, but it's starting to get dangerous again. Like, people are still getting stabbed, and maybe not to the frequency, but, with everything going on in politics right now, people are a little on edge.
Uh-huh.
So, there's definitely been cases of assault still happening.
Yeah, I remember back in the 80s, you didn't want to be on the subway, in Manhattan, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. But, that's the thing. It's the risk you take. Sometimes it's fine, and sometimes it's not. You just never know what's going to happen. I mean, when you have 8 million people on an island, things are about...
Yeah, and it's a lot of tension in the city, too, that's for sure, just to survive, that's for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But in regards to, the Subway, the series... So basically, is it your journey?
Yeah. So I'm an actor, and for young minority women, there's not a whole lot of roles.
That's true. Yeah.
So I wanted to create something that I would never be cast as. So my character is a Pennsylvania Dutch Mennonite girl that moves to the city because you would never see that on TV or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's like a quirky romantic comedy, because often, the minorities are never seen as the romantic lead. They're usually they're the best friend or whatever. So
that's true, yeah.
So I combine all the weirdness of the city, and I have also this other storyline that goes across the season, a relationship between this girl from Pennsylvania and then this guy who's from Texas, adopted by Koreans, and he wants to be a sandwich artiste.
Uh-huh.
So this is about, because New York has so many characters, these people came to New York because they're weird where they're from, but when they come to New York, they realize they're not so weird. Because everybody's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's true. And, New York really is its own character anyway,
Exactly.
Yeah. What's the character's name that you play? Or?
Okay, so my character is Mary Frick.
Mary Frick, right.
Pennsylvania Dutch name. And
okay.
The guy's name is David Ho, and he's white, but his parents died in gang violence because he grew up in Houston, Texas, and he got adopted by a super religious Korean couple.
Oh, good. So you got some good backstory there.
Yeah.
That's pretty
But
cool.
they
Yeah.
each other because they sort of share a semi-Asianish background, but not really. Like, she never really grew up Asian, so he teaches her about it because he grew up Asian. Which is really
Right,
fun.
right. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's funny. I like that. Maybe down the road, hopefully you can sell this to like Comedy Central or that would be like the end goal, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I created it, I wanted to create something that you never see on TV, just something so unique. Because when you watch stuff on, like New York TV shows, it's usually like a bunch of people with somehow they have these big apartments and like seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, I know, like Seinfeld.
Yeah, and Friends.
And Friends, yeah, please. I remember back like in the early days of television, back like in the 60s and 70s, they would have all these like these actors playing like Hispanic roles and all that. And my background is Greek, playing Greeks and Italians. I'm like, guys, there's plenty of actors out there, who are the real thing, who could play that. I mean, come on,
Yeah, so that's why I liked, the platform of web series, because no one can tell you what you can't write or what you can't produce.
Exactly,
And I wanted to make sure that every character I made was not, like, as you learn about them, they defy stereotype.
Nice, yeah. What inspired you to create the web series though? I mean, was it did it start off as an idea? Did it have a sketch or something or?
It really was just like, I know, like, as actors, we're always told to create our own content, and I was like, oh, what is that going to be? What is that going to be? And then I was riding the subway, and I forgot what happened, but there's always something weird happened. I was like, that's going to be it just started from that.
Okay, cool. So what was your concept? What was your concept to creation?
Yeah, so first idea was like, oh, I'll just do stuff about like just capturing all the weird stuff that happens on the train.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also wanted to have that storyline, so I created these characters and added on. So I combined the two to make each episode. So every episode opens with the unique character you might meet or some unique happening on the subway, and they're all based on real subway stories.
Yeah, we know there's plenty of those around.
Yeah. So you'll see the person peeing on the train. You'll see the religious ranter.
I watched the first episode. Yeah. Yeah, but I remember when I've been out of New York for quite a number of years, but I do remember seeing people coming on the train and exposing themselves and going to the bathroom. It's like, The best was like during rush hour, the train pulls into the stop and you look in and you're like, oh my God, this train's empty. And then when the door opens up, you realize why.
Yeah.
It's like
train, yeah.
one homeless guy's just sitting there. You're like, oh my God, I got to get out of here before I vomit. Now here's the magic questions. Did you have any obstacles to overcome? Because I know you're shooting in the inside the subway. You're kind of doing this on the fly, right? With no permits and all that.
So it's always like, oh no, or getting busted. But luckily someone sued the city for like freedom of speech rights after 9/11 because it went down like you couldn't do any photography or videography inside the subway. But after that case, so as long as you don't hinder the functioning of the subway or keep people from using it, you can actually shoot in it. So everything has to be mobile. So we had to shoot on DSLRs and have tripods, but not like ones that are permanent or monopods.
Oh, okay.
And existing lighting. Yeah.
Did you have do you have any funny stories where people looking at the camera and all that? And because you were using real. I mean, there was real people in the background, obviously, right?
Yeah. So I did a section of it. Like if there's a mate, because we do a lot of scenes with dialogue. I would cast extras, but I would also use people that on the train that are already there. But we let them know ahead of time, like, you're going to be photographed. So some people like go and hide, and some people were like all in and looking in the camera and stuff. But my favorite story of a woman that came onto the train. So one of the scenes, one of our guest stars drops his pants, and this woman's like, "What's going on here?" And then she sees this guy, like good-looking guy with his pants off, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to stay on this train." So we couldn't get her to leave. So we had to shoot around her.
Oh, that's funny.
She's like this little old lady. It's so cute.
What kind of camera did you use? You said DSLR?
Yeah, so I mainly Canon 5Ds, but we've also used C300s and 7Ds. But everything, it has to be portable. So, and I just like the saturation of the Canons because I wanted the subway look kind of vibrant,
Sure.
even though it's like
You have
disgusting.
you have that depth of field, yeah.
Yeah, and the portability, and it didn't. No one's like it seems very it's good for guerrilla shooting
Did
because
you
it's photography.
did you use a sound guy or did you go right into the camera and all that?
So in the beginning we just did labs, but we got so comfortable and it seemed okay, like that. Sometimes we would use boom and lav as backup, but it was mainly labs just because there's so much background noise on the subway.
So there's times where you kind of have to like redub it too, right?
Well, the only time I had to redub it was because when you have no budget, you have to use the generosity of other people, and some people wanted to do it for free and overstated their qualifications. So you didn't have to use the sound equipment. So then I did have to redub my very first episode. So that was really
okay.
upset. But then after that, I found a really good guy. He's like a professional sound person.
Nice.
And it's pretty good.
So you're on your second season now.
It's sort of like a continuation of the first season. I'm on like the part 2 of it. So it's all finished filming. So I'm just in the process of editing, and we're doing festivals too. So
Nice, cool, okay. What's your next plan in regards to this?
yeah, so I want to continue the festivals. We just won 6 awards yesterday, so I'm really excited about that.
Really? What were they?
Yeah.
Remember? Or?
So we got best romance, best actress romance, best directing romance, best editing of all web series, directing, acting. Oh, best cast. That's 6. I don't know. It was like I was like so amazed that I won so many at one time.
That's great.
But yeah, we've won best comedy and best music because there's a lot of original music in it in the series. And
okay.
And actually I have real subway buskers that contributed their music, like wrote original songs. Like the theme song for the show was done by Kathy Greer. She's an amazing amazing musician, but I found her in the subway.
You found her in the subway, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Great. Well, congratulations, and keep moving forward and keep pushing through the industry.
Yeah, thanks. And then so then I want to do a release this year once I finish editing the second part of the season.
Okay, cool. Do you want to be, as we wrap up? Do you want to leave like any contact information, website, and all that?
Yeah. So if anyone wants to check it out, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Subway the Series, and we also have a website, www.subwaytheseries.com.
Cool. Great. Well, thank you, Veronica, for being on the show.
Thank you, Peter.
Well, that wraps up webseriesonfire.com. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please email me at webseriesonfire@gmail.com. Please like us on Facebook and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to webseriesonfire.com with your host, Peter Papagiorgio. We'll catch you next time.